Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 4 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 4 and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter data and graph. The lessons we're going to cover today are circle graphs. Choose the best type of graph. Then we'll start the chapter patterns and sequences. The lessons we're going to do from the chapter is find the next shape in repeating patterns, complete a repeating pattern and make a repeating pattern. So first let's just start with the chapter data and graphs. Let's just see how do we work on the circle graphs. Here I'm on grade 4 maths. The chapter is data and graph. Let's just start with the first lesson, that is circle graphs. Here I'm on the circle graphs. Okay, you are given with the circle graph. Basically the circle graphs look like this. The circle graph have portions with the different type of data, right? The first one is what fraction does one section in the circle graph represent, right? So you have to see how many total sections the graph have. The graph have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sections, right? That means each section has the portion 1 over 9. Got it? Because the total portions have are 9, so the each portion have 1 by 9, right? Okay, the next one is what fraction does one section of the circle graph represent? So here the graph has 10 sections, so each section is worth 1 over 10. Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, the graph does, what fraction does one section in the graph represent? So which is the correct option? Yes, the graph has total 7 portions, so each section worth 1 over 7. The correct option is 1 over 7, right? Option 1 is the correct option. What fraction does one section in the circle graph represent? Which is the correct option? Yes, that is 1 over 11 because the graph has total 11 sections. So each section worth 1 over 11. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, what fraction does one section the circle graph represent? So which is the correct option? Yes, that is 1 out of 8 because the graph has total 8 portions and each section worth 1 out of 8. Option number 1 is the correct option. What fraction does one section in the circle graph represent? So which is the correct option? That is 1 out of 12. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is Which choose the best type of graph. Like if you are given the data, you have to make the graph of the data, what type of graph you are going to make, right? Because there are so many types of the graph. Just look at the first example. Which type of graph would best show the population of a city each year for 10 years, right? So basically you have to represent the population of every year for 10 years. So whenever you are given with the, you have the values changes over time, right? You have to represent the data over time. You always use the line graph, right? The best type of graph to show the population of a city each year for 10 years is a line graph. It shows a value that changes over time. So whenever you have to represent the data over time, always use the line graph, right? The next one is, which type of graph would you use to show the number of fish in each tank, right? So whenever you have to compare the two different values, because you have to compare the number of fishes in different tanks, you have to use the bar graph, right? Whenever the comparison is there in the data, you always have to use the bar graph. Got it? Okay, what type of graph would best show the number of boys and the number of girls who like soccer, basketball, or tennis? So you have more than one games, right? That means you have different two sets of data. Whenever you have two sets of data, just use the double bar graph. Let's just go through the questions, test questions. Okay, which type of graph would best show the population of a city each year for 10 years? So, which is the correct option? Here you have to represent the data according to the time, right? Because that is each year for 10 years. So, when you have to represent the data along the time, which is the correct option? The best option is graph, line graph, right? When you have to divide the data over time, you have to use the line graph. The correct option is line graph. Very good. Which is the best type of graph to show the number of cookies three students baked for the class party if there were 10 cookies in each batch? Which is the correct option? Yes, you can use pictograph because you have to compare three of the students, each of them. You have to see if the total cookies were 10, so you have to use the pictograph, right? Which is the best type of graph to show the number of teachers in each school in a city? Which is the correct option? Line graph, bar graph? Bar graph, yes, because here you have the number of comparison, like you are going to compare the number of teachers in different schools, right? So you have to use the bar graph. Very good. The correct option is bar graph. Which is the best type of graph? Which is the best type of graph to show number of red grapes and the number of green grapes in several cups? Which is the correct option? Yes, you have to use the double bar graph because in the same cup you have to see the green grapes and red grapes, right? So you can represent them by the double bar graph. The correct option is double bar graph. Which is the best type of graph to show the number of pens purchased by each teacher if pens comes in box of 10? The correct option is mm, which is the best type of graph to show the number of pens purchased by each teacher if pens comes in a boxes of 10? So which is the correct option? That is pictograph, right? The correct option is pictograph. Which is the best type of graph to show the number of tennis ball in four different stores if tennis ball comes in container of three? Which is the correct option? The correct option is pictograph. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Can you guys please stop talking? Stop talking, everyone, I said. Just focus on the lesson we are working on. You're not here for joking, for chatting. I said stop, everyone. Okay, we're going to start with the next lesson, that is, I'm going to block the chatting option if you are going to do the same thing. The next lesson is patterns and sequence. Let's just start with the next lesson, that is patterns and sequence. Let's just start with the first one, that is find the next shape in the repeating pattern. Let's just start with the I am the teacher. I have to instruct everyone. Priyan, are you a teacher? Let's just start with the test questions. What shape comes next? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is that is a triangle, then a circle, then triangle, then circle. Yes, so the missing one is a circle. The correct option is circle. Which shape comes next? Which is the correct option? Square, triangle, then square, then triangle. So the missing one is, yes, that missing one is a triangle. The correct option is triangle, right? Which shape comes next? So which is the correct option? The next one is a circle, right? Next one is circle. Which shape comes next? Which is the correct option? Which shape comes next? Which is the correct option? The next one is, yes, that is a triangle. Triangle it is. Which shape comes next? Which is the correct one? That is a triangle. The next one is a triangle. Which shape comes next? Which is the correct option? The next one is, yes, circle it is. The correct option is circle. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. And the next lesson is complete a repeating pattern. Let's just start with the next lesson. That is complete a repeating pattern. Let's just start with the next lesson. Okay. Shapes to continue the pattern. So which is the next one? The next one in the pattern is circle and triangle. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? The next one is circle and triangle. Use the shapes to continue the pattern. So which is the next shape pattern? Yes, that is a triangle and a square, right? Option number 2 is the correct option, triangle and square. Use the shape to continue the pattern. Correct option. Which is the next one in the pattern? Yes, that is square and then circle. Square and circle it is. Use shapes to continue the pattern. So which is the next one? That is circle and triangle. Option number 1 is the option. Use the shapes to continue the pattern. The next one is that is circle and a square. Circle and square is the correct option. Use the shapes to continue the pattern, which is the next one in the pattern. Yes. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself. Let me just move on to next lesson, and the next lesson is make a repeating. So let's just start with the next lesson, that is make a repeating pattern. So let's just test question. Now you have to make your pattern on your own, right? Use the shapes to make an AB triangle, AB pattern. So which option is the correct one? AB pattern means you don't have to, like, if the square is first, the second one is triangle. Then square, then triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle. None of them is repeating, right? So which is the correct option? That is the first one, square, triangle, square, triangle, square, triangle. Because in the second one, you have some of things are repeating. That is option number one. Option one is the correct option. We use the shapes to make an AB pattern. So which is the correct option? That is option number one, right? Square, triangle, option number one is the correct option. Hmm. Two. Oh yes. In the one you have repeating here, repetition here, square, square. Yes, option two is the correct option. The next one is use the shapes to make AB pattern, which is the correct option. The correct option is option number one is the correct option, right? Use the shapes to make an AB pattern, which is the correct option. Which is the correct option? Yes, that is option number one. Circle, square. Circle, square. Option number one is the correct option. No one is here for chatting, right? You guys are here to learn. First, you do chatting, then you stop, then you start crying. Use the shapes to make, and no one is answering the questions I am asking. The second one is the correct option. Very good. Use the shape to make an AB pattern, which is the correct option. You can sleep then. Why you are here? Go sleep. The correct option is option number two is the correct option. You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. Next lesson is find the next row in a growing patterns of shape. Let's just start with the test questions. I blocked her from chat. Hey, her, I don't know. Okay, with what row comes next in the pattern? Now, can you please, guys, focus on the lesson we are working on? Stop chatting, everyone. Otherwise, I'm going to block you all. So irritating, you all of you. Yes, that is option number one. Is the correct option. What row comes next in the pattern? Which is the correct option? Yes, that is the second option. Option number two is the correct option. What row comes next in the pattern? Which is the correct option? Yes, the second one is the correct option. What row comes next in the pattern? So, which is the correct option? That is option number one. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So, we were working on grade 4 math. The chapter we're working on is data and graphs. The lessons we have covered from the chapter are circle graph, choose the best type of graph. Then we have started the chapter patterns and sequences. And the lessons we have covered from the chapter are find the next shape in a repeating pattern, complete a repeating pattern. There is something wrong with your system because I can hear myself. Make a repeating pattern and find the next row in a growing pattern of shapes. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can contact any tutor on the Skype. They are available from Monday to Friday, 5 to 9. Or either you can join me in the interactive session that will be daily from 4 to 5 and from 9 to 10, right? So if you have any question related to the lesson, you can please ask. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Okay, bye everyone.